I'ma keep it a bean. Stick to the script, every scene. This from last year, but they clean. Say to say, I'ma take something else, but it's winning team. Charlie Sheen, fam gang, the regime. I'm from Piney Green.
This been overdue forever. Asked me when it was dropping, said never. Should've made you cut the feather, but I designed it Freemason Margiela.
What's good, it's Shellitronnn here, the most woke, no joke, and I'm back again with a brand new video. And day 3 of the 2019 NFL Draft is finally underway. The Panthers got the number 115 pick of the draft, and with their round 4 pick, they selected Christian Miller, an edge rusher out of Alabama. He's a linebacker, not a defensive end. And this pick tells us a lot of things. And luckily for me and y'all, I already did a full draft prospect breakdown video on Christian Miller. You can find that video, click the icon above my head right here, or in the description below. I go in pretty deep in my thoughts on Christian Miller in that video, so I won't repeat myself too much here. So in this video, I'll try to mainly focus on, touching on some of the more obvious things about Christian Miller, and then maybe some less obvious things about what this pick means for the Panthers. Christian Miller, throw a stats up for me right now. One of the biggest issues I had about Christian Miller in my previous video I did on him was that his stats are kind of lacking. And you may look at these stats and say, yeah, I mean, look at these numbers. I mean, only 2 sacks in his sophomore year, 16 tackles, 2.5 tackles for a loss. Look at his junior year. I mean, only 6 total tackles, 1 sack, only 2 tackles for a loss. Those aren't great numbers. I mean, the senior year looked really good. I mean, look at that. 34 tackles, 11 for a loss, 8 sacks, 1 pass defended, 1 fumble recovered. But those counting numbers aren't the real stats I even really care about. Those are you can look at those, but that's not really where my head's at. My head is really in that G column, meaning games played. Freshman year, 1 game played. Sophomore year, 9 games played. Junior year, 4 games played. And his senior year was the only time he ever played more than 10 games in a single season. And his senior year was the only time he actually started the majority of the games he played in the season. His sophomore year he played 9, but I don't think he even started. I think he started maybe 1 game in his sophomore year, maybe 2 games in his sophomore year. But he really didn't get very much time played at Alabama because Bama, I mean, had a lot of good players. They just get a lot of good players there, and he kind of fell off a little bit, comparatively to the other guys on the team. He was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, but, if you know Nick Saban, he gets him some 5-star recruits. So he sat for 2 years, was going to start his junior year, then suffered an injury that had him out for the first 10 games of the season. It was a biceps injury. Then just this past year, he actually got a really good season in. And then right before the bowl game, I think it was, he ended up hurting his hamstring. So he has 2 years of back-to-back semi-major injuries that happened to him. And that's probably why he fell to the 4th round. He probably had, I don't know if he was 1st-round talent, but definitely very early 2nd-round talent. Christian Miller has a lot of talent, regardless of, time played and that kind of stuff. He has he has all the skills you really want in a guy to play the edge. But, the real big thing was those injuries. And I go in at length in my other video talking about how those injuries are going to bring him down in the draft, and how you're going to have to do a lot of due diligence on this guy. The Panthers did bring him in for a meeting, and I'm sure they talked about that at length, talking about his injury history, talking about, how he's going to be recovering, if he's going to be ready for this season, and I think they're pretty satisfied with that, and they picked him up with 115, and that means quite a few things right here. I think it's time for us to actually realize and understand that the team is probably not going to be running a 4-3 base this year. It's pretty obvious the Panthers are going to be running a more 3-4 base defense this season. The signs all just point to us making sure that at all levels, our defensive ends and our edge rusher guys, our outside linebackers, can just cycle in and out no matter who's where, who's tired. If someone gets injured, there's always going to be someone up right behind them. And since we weren't really targeting any defensive backs in the early rounds of the draft, I mean the earliest, by the time of this recording, we can go after a DB, will be the 5th round. It means 3 things to me. Mainly 2, but I'll talk about 3. The first thing is the team is looking at, look, maybe the secondary won't be as great as we might hope for it to be, as we might have expected it to be coming into the draft, but we all know that pressure can help the secondary, and the secondary can help the pressure, and it looks like the plan of action, the strategy here is to have such good edge rushing and have such big pressure on the quarterback that QBs will just not have any time to even test our secondary. The plan is, you're not getting that ball off, so our secondary can be not exactly, Thieves Ave, Legion of Boom kind of level of secondary, but that don't really matter because you'll be on your back by the time you find your read, and look, you're not going to get a chance to even throw the ball down there. The other thing is, I'm pretty sure this means that the team is probably going to be going after a free agent in defensive backs. I don't know if it's going to be Trey Boston, although a lot of fans would love to get Trey Boston. he's been doing pretty well. I'm just kind of worried that, after 2 straight years of prove-it deals, 1-year deals where he actually showed out really, really well, just what kind of contract will he want from the team? Although, it's kind of telling that he hasn't gotten a contract yet. So, maybe at this point, maybe we actually could get him on a pretty cheap deal. Kind of sucks for him because he did prove it 2 straight years. But, for the team and for all of us here in Panther Nation, I understand it. It's great for us. I just feel bad for players sometimes who, they work hard. And he deserves some big money. I don't want to get too deep into it. But if we do get him back, that would be pretty cool. Trey Boston back in Carolina would be great for the team. It would be great for morale. And it'd be great content, too. I ain't gonna lie to you. The third thing I believe this means is that maybe it was all a huge smokescreen to not talk about Ross Cockrell, keep it all under wraps until just last week. And it's starting to say that, he's getting his rehab in and whatnot. Maybe he's a lot healthier than we think. But that also brings the question to mind, where are we going to have guys play? Is Ross going to play the nickel? I don't really see that happening. Is Dante going to play the nickel? James Bradbury, really, I don't want him in the nickel at all. He plays really well against the X receivers as a press corner. I like him a lot where he is. So it's going to be a question as to, are we going to move an outside guy inside? Which is it going to be? We had Dante playing off a lot last year. How's he going to look in the slot? But that's not what this video is about. We got Christian Miller here. He's a really good edge rusher with a lot of versatility. He's not really a coverage kind of guy. I don't want to see him out in space too much. He can cover running backs coming out of the backfield, but I don't want to really see him out playing zone all too much. The guy's big talent is rushing and getting after the quarterback. I don't want to touch on it way too much because I do talk about it a lot more in my actual breakdown of him. But Christian Miller, this pick is a really, really good one. That's my thoughts on it. What are your thoughts? Do you like Christian Miller? Do you not like Christian Miller? Do you like the pick here? Would you have picked someone else? What are your thoughts on his injury history? Watch the full breakdown I did on Christian Miller if you want to know my full thoughts on him. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And check out that pinned comment for ways to support the channel. It's a really, really easy way to support the channel, man. We're almost at 500 signatures on that petition. And you already know to do that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Being told y'all I been the man. Being told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.